Hello world, Shelly here, and today it is time to kick off yet another Foundation Fest series where I do 5 different foundation reviews in 5 days, inspired by ThaTaylaa's 15 Days of Foundation. I will link her channel down below. Check her out if you don't already follow her. And today we are going to take a look at the Pur Bare It All foundation. I've got this in the shade Porcelain. And let's check out some of the claims on this foundation. I'm getting this off of Ulta's website. The full name of this foundation is the Bare It All 12-Hour 4-in-1 Skin Perfecting Foundation. This retails for $39, but you get 1.5 ounces of product, whereas a typical foundation bottle is 1 ounce of product. So the price point on this is actually really nice. It comes in 10 shades, not a super extensive shade range. I've got the lightest shade Porcelain. And in terms of claims, this high-performance 12-hour demi-matte foundation helps cover imperfections and instantly perfect the skin. There's a hair on my nose. Instantly correct the skin while helping to correct problem areas over time so you can confidently bear it all. What impressed me is when I went into the product ingredient deck, there are some really good skincare ingredients in here like niacinamide, blue agave, green tea, ginseng, ceramides, shea butter extract, retinol. So there's some good stuff in here. So I believe that is what they're talking about in the skin perfecting category here, that there's ingredients in here that are going to improve your skin while you are wearing this foundation. So that is what we are starting out with. The packaging is just a squeezy tube, slightly holographic. I don't know if that will pick up on camera, but it is pretty to look at. And the squeezy tube does not have a pump. It is just your typical squeeze out style of foundation. The expiration on the back is listed as 12 months. So once you open the product, you then have a year to use it before it goes bad. And that's what we've got. So let's take a look at some swatches, and I will compare this Pur Bare It All to some of the other lighter foundations that I own in this price range. Swatch time. First up is today's foundation, the Pur Bare It All in shade Porcelain. Next is the Estee Lauder Double Wear Foundation in shade 1C1 Cool Bone. Third up is Philosophy's Hope in a Jar in shade 3. This is one of my favorite color matches right now. Fourth, another foundation that we're going to check out in this week's Foundation Fest. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk in shade 3. Now, if you watch me on Snapchat, if you don't, you should do that. But if you follow me on Snap, you saw when I was in Las Vegas and I bought this foundation. This is a warm-toned foundation, but swatching it in the store, the makeup artist convinced me that it worked best on my skin, so we will try that out, but it is noticeably warm compared to the rest of these. And last up, I've got the Fiona Styles Matte Finish Foundation Concentrate in shade 01. Let's try out this Pure foundation, shall we? I have already cleansed and moisturized my face. I have primed with the Urban Decay Urban Defense Primer. As usual, I'm going to go in on one side of my face with a brush. This is the Artis Oval 7. And on the other side with a sponge. This is a damp sponge from Ulta. This is their sort of Beauty Blender dupe, which I really, really like. It's nice and soft and bulbous, and like all my other sponges, eaten up by cats. And that is the plan. So here we go. I am just going to take a little bit of this foundation and squeeze it out into my palette. I prefer a pump, of course, but here we go. Not super drippy. Doesn't seem to be budging. So a pretty thick formula. It looks smooth. Right off the bat, I feel like this is a pretty thick formula. It doesn't have that sort of glide on the skin that a lot of foundations do. It's got a little bit of drag to it, but not in a bad way necessarily. It's definitely clinging nicely sitting nicely on the skin, and I do feel like it's having a blurring effect on my pores on this side of my face. Really solid coverage right off the bat with one layer. I think it has canceled out all of my redness for sure. I think the shade match is pretty good. Maybe a teeny tiny bit light, but I'd rather be on the light side than the dark side. I think I definitely got better coverage with the brush. However, the coverage with the sponge side looks beautiful as well. Not quite as blurring as the brush, but I do think either way is a fine way to apply this. And if you don't want all that coverage, you might prefer the sponged anyway. I haven't gone through all of this product yet, so let's see if this is buildable. It has a lot of drag when you're applying it with a brush, but gosh, it smooths everything out really nicely. The brush really is the way to go if you want to smooth out texture. This looks so nice. I would say we are at a high medium coverage. I can barely see any of my sunspots poking through. And that was essentially with like 1.5 layers. I did not go in with a full second coat. I really like the coverage on this. It looks a tiny bit heavy, but it is helping to smooth texture. It is not settling into lines. It is not settling into pores. It is not settling in anywhere. I think it looks really nice. It does look like I'm wearing makeup though, but I think it is an improvement on my natural skin. So, oh, there's a little bit of settling. Settling a teeny tiny bit, Time right now is 2:14 p.m. I'm gonna go put the rest of my face on. I'll be right back. I'm back. I did have some trouble blending things out over this foundation. Just like I felt with the brush where there was sort of drag on my skin, it was a little bit tough to blend out product over this foundation. Now, I wasn't initially going to set it with a powder because I liked the finish. I liked how it looked, but I did end up setting it with the Laura Geller Baked Balance and Brighten. This is in the shade Porcelain, because I just felt like I needed something to help other products glide over this. My concealer went on pretty well, except over on this side, I feel like there's a little trouble with blending again. So the blending issue, I think overall I ended up getting a good result, but it took more work and a little bit more attention to detail than usual. Overall, I think it looks really nice. It has continued to settle a tiny bit into my deeper lines, my smile lines, and my deeper forehead lines. So that's happening, but it's not settling into minor lines like my crow's feet or anything like that. So that's where we're at this moment. On my face, I use the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eye Concealer and Brightener. I set my under eye with our CMA No Color Powder. Like I said, I set the foundation with the Laura Geller. On my eyes, I've got the Rimmel Magnifies eyeshadow palette. This one is the one called London Nudes Calling. For blush, I am wearing Tarte Amazonian Clay Blush in Glisten. And for bronzer, I've got the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the light bronzer shade. And on my lips, I've got Essence Cool Nude, bringing back the oldie but goodie. And eyeliner is Rimmel Glam Eyes favorite liquid brush liner. Yeah, that's everything. So I'm going to go about my day, gonna go have some lunch. I will check back with a daylight check-in. Cats. I will be back with a daylight check-in in a couple hours, and at the end of the night, I will come back and show you how it will wear and tell you what I thought. Daylight check-in, we are at about the 3-hour mark right now, and I am really conflicted about this foundation. Parts of my face look gorgeous and smooth. My cheeks, my nose, everything looks nice and poreless, but parts of my face look kind of bad already. My chin is sort of losing coverage. See how the redness is coming through? It's kind of breaking up on my chin. So I'm conflicted at this point. I will come back this evening and let you know how it went, but for a 12-hour foundation, for it to break down on my nose like, or on my chin like this already, I'm really surprised. So we'll see. I will check back later. Hey guys, I'm back. It is 10:37 p.m. and that means we are somewhere around the 8-hour mark because I really can't remember what time check-in was. I think we're going on 9 hours now. I think it was like almost 2 o'clock, something like that. So let's take a look at how this foundation is doing at that mark. Now remember, this is touted as a 12-hour wear foundation. I didn't get 12 hours out of it, but I think the breakdown is kind of predictable. It's breaking down around my chin and on my nose. My forehead is just now starting to go, so I think my forehead might hold up for the 12 hours. My cheeks still look really good. So I think this is one of those kinds of foundations that might have the potential to be improved. I may just need to play around with what primers I'm using under it or what setting powders I'm using over it. I really, really wanted to get this foundation into the B range because early on, I really, really liked how it looked. I really like the finish. I really love the ingredient list on this. I think it would be a great thing to be able to wear a foundation that has such great ingredients in it. And as the day went on, I was actually thinking that this is a little more similar to like a Kat Von D Lock-It foundation or like the Urban Decay All-Nighter. Not quite such full coverage, but very close with less product on your skin and a much better ingredient list. So I was thinking that I will try to remember to insert swatches of this foundation compared to those two just to see what they look like, because I mean, if I could get this to work, I would be really, really excited about it, because at the end of the day, mascara. Tartist lash paint has been flaking all over my face all day. At the end of the day, I do not feel dry. I actually feel almost, oily is not the right word because clearly I'm not producing a ton of oil, but I almost feel, my skin still feels like there's moisture in it. So a foundation that has such good coverage and does not dry my skin out is a pretty amazing feat. So I really want to make this work. I would really like to find a way to make this work, and I will keep you guys posted. So in terms of performance, the foundation did not settle additionally into any of my smaller lines, like my smile lines, my forehead lines. There's just a tiny bit of settling, and it's the same tiny bit that was there before. It did settle into my deeper chin lines under my chin. So in that way, it settled into deep lines. It's a little bit cakey around my mouth, the parts of my mouth that move, and it also caked up just a tiny bit around my nostrils, not significantly. It's wearing off my nose, it's wearing off my chin. My forehead looks like it's starting to break down, but it's not terrible. It's just starting to break down. So at the 9-hour mark, I would say that's pretty good. Everything else actually still looks okay. It doesn't look bad. For this many hours in, I think it looks pretty doggone good. My texture on my cheek still looks pretty smooth and untextured. My pores are just now starting to become visible. There's no settling into pores at all. I really think in that regard, this foundation has held up really well. So I really want to make this work because of the wear down. I cannot rate this in an above average category. With the amount of wear off that I'm getting on my chin and my nose, I have to say this is probably C- as is, but I do feel like this is a foundation that has the potential to do better. So I'm going to continue to play around with it. I really like the ingredients. I really like the finish. I think the color match is really good for me. I do like this foundation. I'm going to keep trying to make it work. So that's where I'm at with the Pur Bare It All foundation. I think there is hope. It's not a superb performer right off the bat, but I'm going to keep on playing with it. I will keep you guys updated if I find a way to make this work. If you like these foundation reviews and want to see more, give me a thumbs up down below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. We will have another Foundation Fest video tomorrow. Remember, 5 days in a row, 5 foundation reviews. And if you'd like to see more foundation reviews, just let me know down in the comments what you would like to see, and I'll try to get my hands on it. Thanks a lot for taking some time out of your day to geek out over makeup with me. I appreciate it, and I hope you guys have an awesome day or night wherever you are in the world. Take care of each other. Bye-bye.